So let's say the AI measured your facial age and it came out 1 year older than your actual age. This means the probability of dying from any cause increased by 0.8% for each year. Hello everyone, this is Yola. Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could simply snap a photo of your face and instantly get a reading of your fortune? But what if it could tell you not just your fortune, but how long you have to live and what diseases you might have? A paper estimating such things has been published and is gaining attention. This paper, which just came out 2.5 months ago in Hungary, is extremely interesting because it predicts the acceleration of aging based on photos of faces and even analyzes how that differs depending on one's occupation. It analyzes eye wrinkles at a pixel level and even slightly sagging cheeks. If AI learns these, we go beyond just looking at a face and saying, you look this old, or you don't look so well. It seems that we are on the verge of an era where we can transcend these simple, rough judgments and utilize the face as a biomarker, a biological hint to predict what diseases one might have, or even what kind of profession they might be suited for. As you can see, it's from the Hungarian Research Network and a place called elasticity. Both are located in Budapest, Hungary. This is the research from Dr. Benchik's team, which you see here. So, they hypothesized that a person's face could reveal things. You're getting older. Oh, you look a bit worn out. Or you've aged. This isn't merely a feeling. The face mirrors biological aging, potentially linking it to premature death. It really feels like reading one's fortune, doesn't it? To verify this hypothesis, they utilized a truly revolutionary tool, which was AI. This is becoming quite a hot topic because it's expected to be a research paradigm shift, one that could truly overturn the entire academic field. So, if you look here, what exactly did they train it on? Specifically, 442,110 photo images, and it said that they just used images of well-known individuals. It's shown here in figure 1a, which is from a specific database. In this database, the 440,000 images were accurately tagged with the age information of each specific person. First, you have to detect where the face is in the photo, right? That kind of stuff is a piece of cake these days, isn't it? They took this and performed feature extraction on the people with these faces. This is a method that was previously employed in fields such as signal processing and fingerprint analysis. These features are extracted using a convolutional layer, and ultimately, through inference, the AI identifies the subtle patterns of how a face changes with aging, which are incredibly difficult for humans to discern. But the approach here was to have an AI learn this through deep learning. Now, it's not that this kind of paper hasn't been published before. For example, this paper came out in 2019, 6 years ago already, titled Age Estimation and Progression from Face Images. There have been many papers like this before, about estimating my age from a face image and how it will progress, how I will get older. This paper summarizes various technologies for estimating age from facial images, so I brought it up. It's also mentioned here. Feature extraction, meaning there are separate algorithms that capture certain facial features, and which databases were used for that. This paper actually summarizes a wide variety of such studies. What truly differentiates this paper is that it doesn't just infer age or how much older one has become, but it can actually estimate a person's lifespan. This is a complete paradigm shift. For instance, we often ask, if telomeres shorten, does that mean a shorter lifespan? For all these things, you have to measure the telomere as a biomarker, right? Even though there's still considerable discussion regarding the actual correlation, it implies that you could simply snap a photo and have it inform you about your expected lifespan. Of course, further in-depth research into its accuracy will be needed, but the photo itself can serve as a person's biomarker. Isn't that a little chilling, you ask? Those very photos you're posting on Instagram. Of course, many of you probably use filters on your faces, but the photo itself could be seen as holding my biological information. Couldn't it be misused somehow? So the concept of age acceleration that this paper initially introduces, which literally translates to age acceleration, is being discussed. Why exactly are they bringing up such a topic? The paper states that they utilize this age acceleration as a crucial metric, which denotes the disparity between the AI-predicted facial age and an individual's true chronological age. That's what they developed. For example, if you subtract the actual age from the AI-predicted facial age and get a positive number, you could interpret that as looking older than your real age. We often discuss accelerated aging or slow aging these days, don't we? So when the AI makes a prediction, it might think someone should be a certain age, but then it sees their actual age is younger. The AI is looking at the face and thinking, wow, they should be this old. But the bigger that difference gets, the more you might think, their condition isn't that great, is it? So it's not simply about how old you appear, but rather about quantitatively objectifying how much older you look compared to others in the same actual age group. This, in fact, is also quite frightening. But folks, that's not the full story. Do you see the terrifying aspect right here? Alright, after some digging, they found there was a 0.8% increase. What does this mean? When? A 1-year increase in age acceleration based on face photos. So let's say the AI measured it and your facial age came out 1 year older than your actual age. Then for some reason, which remains unknown, the likelihood of death from any particular cause increased by a staggering 0.8% with each passing year. Wow, doesn't that just send shivers down your spine? This was scientifically and significantly proven even after controlling for all other variables. In other words, we were able to quantify that the face is 1 year older than its actual age, the value that comes out when the AI tells you how old you are. Given the difference between that value and actual age, a 2-year gap means a 1.6% increase. 10 years means an 8% higher mortality risk, whatever the cause. But what follows is even more interesting. Do you see it? This effect is said to be much more noticeably apparent in individuals who are over the age of 45. Here, the p-value goes down to almost 10 to the power of minus 14. However, regarding young people, here defined as those under 45, the correlation isn't particularly strong. Take a look here. The p-value, meaning the p-value is high. What this means is that for those over 45, it is highly significant and evident. Therefore, among the middle-aged and elderly, the differences resulting from this age acceleration are a strong indicator of the probability of death. This means that as you get older, your facial appearance is a much better reflection of your medical history, aging speed, and lifestyle habits. That's because younger people generally have a lower incidence of age-related diseases, and you could say they still have plenty of time to change their aging speed through lifestyle changes. Now, there's another graph that shows this. It's labeled like this. They analyze survival rates for those who age fast versus those who age slow. For the group whose faces aged faster than their actual age, you can see right away that their survival rate gradually decreases over time. This vertical axis here is the probability of survival. The further it drops, the sooner they pass away, and from the age of 70 onwards, this becomes strikingly and immediately visible, clearly revealing that there's a strong correlation with that indicator and a much higher chance of dying sooner. But instead of just lumping it all together, they broke it down by occupation. Do you see this here? They looked at the age of athletes. There's a clear difference in facial aging speed depending on the occupation. We're only talking about faces right now. When examining the occupations with the slowest aging, this age acceleration axis is 0 for each graph. However, it's positioned to the left of that 0 point. It suggests that badminton players are likely to live very long, and volleyball players are similar. I guess I should play a lot of volleyball. Speed skaters are also very good, and there's a wide variety here. Hockey players, figure skaters, these people age a bit more slowly. Now rappers, I'm not sure if they mean the rappers I know, but for script writers and rappers, they are slightly to the right of the center. This means they age a bit faster. And generally, when considering all professions, those on the left side are predominantly athletes, while on the right, you mainly find more general occupations like historians, linguists, translators, editors, teachers, sci-fi writers, and economists. So what exactly does it mean when it's said that these individuals tend to age more quickly? It's said that athletes on average look about 2.3 years younger than their actual age. They also saw what areas this AI model focused on when predicting age. The area it focused on the most was around the nose and mouth, meaning it looks closely at smile lines. This feature, the area around the nose and mouth, was much more important than the eyes or the entire face. There's an algorithm introduced here which is called GradCam, and GradCam stands for Gradient Weighted Class Activation Mapping. This deep learning model visually demonstrates which areas of the image it concentrated on to make its prediction. Now let's see it right away. When looking at the heat map from GradCam, you can observe, it really focused on this particular area. So why is this meaningful? Firstly, it holds significance just in terms of measuring my own age. Since I wasn't very familiar with this, I researched it diligently. It seems the most advanced biological age measurement method is called the epigenetic clock, which you see here. It's a clock, that is. The clock, the epigenetic clock. That's how we could analyze it. So, from birth, it becomes this verse, and then it goes straight to death, right? What you're seeing here, this represents DNA. How healthily has this DNA aged? Did it age in a healthy way? Or was it that some underlying diseases or other health conditions became entwined with it, leading to various associated risks? That's what's being observed. Methylated refers to whether the DNA has undergone methylation, with molecules attached to it. By observing this, we can estimate a person's biological age, and from there, even predict their lifespan or mortality rate. However, this process essentially requires collecting a DNA sample and extensive analysis, making it quite expensive. So it's not easy to utilize this, but if the AI can estimate it just by sending a photo, isn't that quite groundbreaking? First, it's quick and affordable. And this itself can be incredibly useful. It could be used as an alternative that directly replaces the epigenetic clock, compensating for its drawbacks. First off, you don't need DNA sampling, right? No complex equipment is needed. With just a photo, the AI provides instant results. It could even become an app for you to test. And just as home cancer tests and other detection methods were once popular, now, with just a smartphone, you could scan your face and immediately confirm facial aging and even directly consult about it. Furthermore, if someone is rushed to the emergency room, you could quickly snap a photo of their face to make an initial diagnosis and predict their prognosis, how their condition is likely to progress. It has an endless array of applications. No doctors, no machines, nothing could do this before. We also get regular health checkups, don't we? By taking a face photo, we could predict an individual's aging speed, which would then allow for consultations. We could address things like lifestyle habits or preventive treatments. In fact, everyone, I think this is what will be most successful. You know how we sell a ton of anti-aging foods and products, right? If this becomes a singular objective indicator, it could serve as a basis to assess various pharmaceuticals, goods, or therapeutic methods designed to decelerate a person's aging process. In essence, an entire healthcare system could be established upon this foundation. So if you could just do a daily aging check every morning, and if this gets more detailed, even to the pixel level, you can manage your health in a personalized way. This is why tech companies are eyeing this healthcare market. Apple, for instance, is highly focused on it. And it seems that this kind of personalized medical service, powered by AI, will truly flourish and become exceptionally widespread. We can certainly anticipate such developments. But there are still many opinions suggesting that these aspects need to be approached with great care. For this technology to gain widespread application, biases concerning race or gender must first be properly rectified, and any approach must be founded upon meticulously refined and clean data. Furthermore, the face itself can become highly sensitive biometric information for individuals. This aspect is quite chilling, isn't it? We already use things like fingerprints as biometric data to log into banks and other services, right? But when the face itself becomes a significant form of biometric data, holding a lot of information, how will we respond to that? Because of privacy and security matters, Sam Altman even talks about WorldCoin. In the same vein, blockchain-based biometric data storage could very well gain prominence. From a technological standpoint, this is a plausible prediction. Also, elements like changes in facial expressions or lighting, and as the beauty field continues to advance, will necessitate more detailed research into whether those aspects can be precisely captured. Furthermore, the dataset that was utilized in this study, which I just touched upon, the IMDb wiki dataset was automatically collected, so it had a lot of noise. Of course, it did show good predictive performance on these registered datasets, but the noteworthy point is that since it was celebrity data, information like cause of death or occupation was quite abundant. However, a significant question remains: how will this data be collected in the future? And with AI already significantly changing the bioindustry, these technologies will prove extremely vital. I felt a revolution was coming, so I compiled this for you. Unreal Tech's global channel also uploads content in English, so please check it out. We are also constantly uploading short news on Instagram, so please feel free to check out all the exciting videos and news there. This has been Ella.